I want to leave you today with a benediction before we close in a song of faith. I said earlier that eulogy is derived from the Greek meaning good word, and benediction is from the Latin meaning good word. In an interview with the paper this week, they asked me if there were any lessons we were learning, and my response was, any lesson seems trite or cliche when it comes to our little girl's death. Death is awful. There aren't simple answers to our pain. We know now more than ever what truly matters: our faith, our family, our loved ones, our community. But we are heartbroken. Maria's death leaves a hole in our family. I don't know any of us are strong enough to fill that one. She was a strong kid. But the birth of Lucy reminds us that there is still life, that there is still hope, that we still have faith, and someday there will be joy again. And so I want to close with just some words from Nicholas Walderstorff that have become my words in these days. Why don't you just scrap this God business, says one of my bitter, suffering friends. It's a rotten world. You and I have been shafted, and that's that. And I'm pinned down. When I survey this gigantic, intricate world, I cannot believe that it just came about. I do not mean that I have some good argument for its being made and that I believe in all those arguments. I mean that this conviction wells up irresistibly within me when I contemplate the world. The experiment of trying to abolish it does not work. When looking at the heavens, I cannot manage to believe that they do not declare the glory of God. When looking at the earth, I cannot bring off the attempt to believe that it does not display his handiwork. And when I read the New Testament and I look into the material surrounding it, I am convinced that the man Jesus of Nazareth was raised from the dead, and that I see the sign in him that he was more than a prophet, but he was the Son of God. God is love, and that is why he suffers. To love our suffering, sinful world is to suffer. God so suffered for the world that he gave up his only Son to suffering. The one who does not see God's suffering does not see his love. God is suffering love. So suffering is down at the center of things, deep down where the meaning is. Suffering is the meaning of our world, for love is the meaning, and love suffers. The tears of God are the meaning of history, but mystery remains. Why isn't love without suffering the meaning of things? Why is suffering love the meaning? Why does God endure his suffering? Why does he not at once relieve his agony by relieving ours? So we shall struggle to live the reality of Christ rising and death's dying. In my living, my daughter's dying will not be the last word. But as we rise up, we bear the wounds of her death. Faith is a footbridge that you don't know will hold you up over the chasm until you're forced to walk out onto it. I'm standing there now, over the chasm. I inspect the bridge. Am I deluded in believing that in God the questions shouted out by the wounds of this world has an answer? Am I deluded in believing that someday I will know the answer? Am I deluded in believing that once I know the answer, I will see that love has conquered. I don't see how God's going to bring it off, though. But I suppose if he can create, he can recreate. I wonder if it's all true. I wonder if he's really going to do it. Will I really hear my little Maria say someday, really say, hey, Daddy, I'm back. But remember, I made all this and raised my son from the dead. So, okay. Goodbye. Goodbye, sweet Maria, until we see. Amen.